Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We'd like to welcome you to the MOACAC Truman State presentation this evening. Just want to cover a couple housekeeping items before I turn it over to our gentleman for presenting. There is a Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. That is where you'll ask your questions. Your microphone is muted and your camera is off. So the panelists cannot see or hear you during the presentation. And the presentation is being recorded. It will be available on the MOACAC website for you to watch later on. And with that being said, gentlemen, I'll turn it over to you to start your presentation.
Okay. Well, thank you and welcome everyone to Truman State University. My name is Mark Kleins. I am the St. Louis Regional Admission Counselor, and up here with me is Mr. Joe Rucopero. Did I pronounce that right? Yep. He is also a regional recruiter. He also lives in the St. Louis area, and he handles Southeast Missouri. I handle St. Louis and basically Southwest Missouri. And if you happen to come in from another state, Joe also handles all of Illinois. So you'll be able to reach out to us at any point in time, and this is who we are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start the presentation. And as the facilitator mentioned, if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A box. We'll be working on that together. We're going to try and get all of your questions answered. And then if you don't, we should have our presentation wrapped up in about 30 minutes. So that way it gives you plenty of time to ask questions of us before the 45-minute drop, and we'll get you all set. So Truman State University, we are in Kirksville, Missouri. That is approximately 3 hours from St. Louis, about 3.5 from Kansas City. About 4.5 or so, maybe up to 5 from Springfield, Joplin, about roughly 5 from Cape Girardeau, about 3 or so from St. Joe, about 1.5 hours from Columbia, about 1.5 hours from Hannibal, Missouri. I think I've covered most corners of the state, so that kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. We are just directly north of Columbia, Missouri on Highway 63. Kirksville is a community of about 17,000 people. We are the largest community in a 90-mile radius, so we are kind of out there. At the same token, there's a lot of things to do. It's a very welcoming, very friendly community. The same can be said of our campus. It is a pedestrian and a bike-friendly campus and community. So if you get the opportunity, come on up. We are open for business. We are open for visits, private visits. But that's kind of where we're at, where we're located up there in the mid-Missouri, mid-North Missouri. This contact information here, the 785-4114 and the admissions at Truman, those are the email addresses for the main office. Joe will probably here before too long put in the chat box our contact information directly with our phone numbers and emails, or we'll do that possibly at the end when everybody gets on. So that way you can contact either one of us directly throughout the rest of the presentation or when we're done. So Truman State University, who are we? What do we do and who are we? Truman State University, we are a small public institution. We have about a little over 4,900 full-time undergraduate students. We still have another 6 or 7, maybe 100 graduate students. So 5,200, I guess, a little bit more than that, total enrolled students on our campus. As undergraduate students and as freshmen, there might be some transfers in here in the presentation tonight. So if there are, welcome. But again, when we talk about freshman class sizes, our average is 25. So when you are sitting in classrooms, you're going to get to know your faculty by name, face. They're going to get to know you by name, face, personality. Most of our faculty with a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio, they're going to give you cell phone numbers. They're going to give you many times home numbers. They're going to give you different opportunities to contact them, many times personal emails, not just work emails. You're going to see your faculty running around campus in the evenings. If you're involved in an extracurricular, you're going to see them sponsor groups, clubs, and organizations on campus. You're going to see them over at the fitness center. So when you talk about a small class size and a small student teacher ratio, be prepared to get to know them as not only faculty student, but also as mentors and also as friends. It is amazing how many alumni come back to campus every year looking for not Professor so-and-so, but Mike or Bob or Jan, because they are now a friend and a colleague, not faculty to student. And that is something that is really important, 5, 10, 15 years down the road after graduation, if maybe you're looking to change careers or change jobs, things like that. So our small student teacher ratio, our small freshman class size, the opportunity to ask questions without being embarrassed, the opportunity to see your faculty member day in and day out. You will see that we have maybe 4 or 5 total graduate assistants on our campus, and those primarily work in our communication disorder area because we have an actual Master's of Communication and a communication disorder center on campus. Other than that, you will see our faculty day in and day out for the next 4 or 5 years. So Truman State University, we run what is called, from an academic standpoint, we run a liberal arts and sciences curriculum. Our curriculum, we have approximately 50 majors and a little over 60 minors. We offer many different areas. I'm going to touch on those in just a second here. But what does a liberal arts curriculum really mean? What that means simply is that you, as a student, you will have to have the core courses, what we call the dialogue courses. You have to have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60 credit hours, or roughly half of your credit hours required for graduation, out of the dialogue courses. Those include public speaking or some type of communication class, an English comp, English literature, 2 semesters worth of a foreign language if you have not had it already in the high school. So many classes or hours in the social sciences, the physical sciences, the philosophy or religion area, the fine arts, the physical education area. It gives a well-rounded, the well-rounded student. But more importantly, what does a liberal arts education do for you? It does a number of different things. It gives you the opportunity to explore different majors or different classes that maybe you've never had that opportunity before to do. It allows you to have, in essence, some fun with your academic career. It also, if you're undecided on a major or you have a thought about a major and you're not really sure, it gives you an opportunity to confirm it. It also gives you, like I said, if you're not sure, don't worry. You have 2 full years. You have to the end, basically, of your sophomore year before you have to declare a major. And all this entire time, you're working, again, in these small class sizes. So your faculty will work with you and answer your questions about what they offer, what kind of career opportunities there are in your field, or whatever the situation is. Some of our largest majors: business administration, which encompasses marketing, management, finance, econ. We have a full accounting program, including a master's of accounting. So you could do that on our campus as well. A full biology program, including pre-med, environmental studies, pre-vet programs, pre-dentistry programs, underneath the biology area. We have a new biochemistry, molecular biology major, which is kind of unique and is also pretty cool for students who may be looking at forensic science, or if you're looking at the medical field, genetics and things like that. English is one of our bigger majors. Communication, psychology, sociology, health and the exercise science field are all very big majors on our campus. Again, a couple of unique ones, as I mentioned, are our communication disorder, our linguistics. We offer a lot of different foreign languages on campus. So it gives you an opportunity to really explore and then to develop your major and your career. The other thing that the liberal arts curriculum does, and what we really emphasize on here at Truman State University, is the idea of collaboration and teamwork. You have the opportunity, beginning your freshman year, to do research with fellow students and with faculty. They encourage that so that you're working together, because when you graduate and you go find a job, regardless of what field it is in, you're going to be working as a team in some way, shape, or form. So you have to be able to learn to adapt and work with each other. You will have the opportunity to get published. You have the opportunity to do research. You have the opportunity to continue to learn. One of the things that we really push at Truman State University is that aspect of enjoyment in learning. This year, for a recruitment standpoint, has been a phenomenal year of learning. To put it in perspective, I've been doing admission work for over 30 years. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be presenting a college fair booth virtually. But the idea of having to learn how to operate Zoom and Google Meet and some of the other online platforms to be able to do these presentations, I've had to learn all this in a very short period of time. I have a liberal arts background, and it gives that opportunity to be able to learn and adapt. And that's what we really concentrate on at Truman State University. We do also have pre-professional programs. Some of our most popular pre-professional programs is the pre-med. We have a very strong pre-law program. In a situation, if you're looking at pre-law, the great part is you can major in anything, and you will get both an academic advisor in that academic area as well as a specific person in the pre-law area who will make sure you're taking appropriate classes, preparing for the LSAT, things of that sort. We offer on our campus, we offer an athletic training program, a Master's of Athletic Training program. So students who are looking at that may do the health or exercise science or maybe even a biology undergraduate degree. We also have a dual degree engineering program that we just recently started with Washington University, where you'll spend 3 years at Truman State University and then a couple of years over at WashU and have 2 degrees. If you wanted, you could take that at other schools as well. Missouri Rolla, S&T is an example, St. Louis U or someplace like that. But we have this specific program with engineering. So when we look at Truman State and we look, even though we have limited, it seems like majors, only 50, only about 60 minors, we don't want to become overly big. We want to stay focused on what we do, because what we do very well. And that's our goal. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. One of the things that you will notice behind me on my screenshot in the bottom right as your screen, the big number 1, we have been ranked 24 years in a row now. Number 1 Best Buy in the Midwest region of schools. That's a Best Buy on your return on investment. What kind of academics are you getting? What is your outcomes? Things like that. When we talk about number 1, not just for a couple of years, 24 years in a row, U.S. News and World Report, probably the premier and the longest running, if you will, ranking system, they've rated us number 1, and that's picked by other peers. We were also this year picked number 7 school overall in the Midwest region. The Midwest region includes Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan. So we are number 7 out of all the schools in that area. So think about that in terms of, yeah, we may not have as many majors as many other schools do, but what we do very, very well. One of the other things that we get ranked, or one of the other ways we get ranked 24 years in a row, is our success rate. And these are what we call our student outcomes or student successes. This year, from the fall of 19 freshmen to the sophomore of fall 20, our retention rate was 88.2, 3 or 4%, whatever the exact percentage is, but it's over 88%. That means 88 out of every 100 students who started as a freshman in the fall of 19 came back this year as a sophomore. Now, that sounds really good, and it is, but I'm going to go you one better. That retention rate increased by over 4, almost 5 percentage points in the middle of a pandemic. So we went from 83.6% to over 88% in 1 year in the middle of a pandemic. I've talked with many high school guidance counselors. They say that it's so atypical, it's not even crazy. Even high schools are struggling with it. That kind of gives you an idea of not only the type of student who comes to Truman State, that they come to Truman State because they want to be there, but it also tells you what we are doing to try and keep you there. Some of the, like our Center for Academic Excellence will reach out to all of our students to make sure everything is okay. Our faculty will get to know you by name and face and they'll work with you. There are many other, what I'm going to call umbrellas or nets to help you make sure that you are doing whatever it takes to help you succeed, or we were doing whatever it takes to help you succeed. For all of those reasons, even when everybody was learning from home and going to class at home after spring break last spring, we increased our retention by over 4 percentage points. Again, we're doing something right. We're attracting the right type of student. Upon graduation, a little over a third, about 35% of our students are pursuing an advanced degree. That be a master's program, maybe in our master's program of education, our MAE program, or a medical school. Maybe they're going to go to A.T. Stills College of Osteopathic Medicine, 6 blocks up the street from us, or come down here to St. Louis Law School, or Washington U Law School, or Mizzou Law School, maybe Mizzou Vet School. So UMKC Medical School. So our students are going to some high quality, nationally and internationally recognized graduate schools. And about a third of them go every year upon graduation. Some degrees are going to be more pushing that, and others, the psychology, the biologies, sociologies, they're going to really do the advanced degree. Potentially some of like your business, they may do a lot more into the first-time full-time job. 87% of our graduates are employed or in grad school within 6 months of graduation. That is with a 90% return rate on the survey that we send out to every graduating class. So when 90 out of every 100 kids are sending back that survey, and we are still at 87% placement rate, that's pretty good. Overall, that's really good, to be quite honest with you. And we have a 73% 5-year graduation rate. So if you actually sit back and did the math, when you start looking at retention rates, freshman to sophomore year, sophomore to junior, junior to senior year, and potentially senior to senior, we will lose, and most everybody will lose, at least 25 students out of the 100 that come in. But what ours is telling you, that if you come into Truman State, chances are if you stay at Truman State, you're going to graduate, number one, within a 5-year time frame, and number two, we're going to make sure you graduate. We're not going to have you at 5 years at Truman State just taking your money, and you don't have a degree and you have 2 more years to go. We want you to come in. We want you to graduate. We're going to push you to graduate. We're going to push you to graduate in 4 years. Many students will do 5 years because they're going to do a study abroad or an internship. Students are going to double major or major minor. Some students take 3.5 years because they're bringing in college credit. So these are some of the statistics, our outcomes, our student successes that are helping us get ranked where we're at today. So the next thing we're going to talk about, I am hoping that we have some seniors out there today, or tonight, I should say. And if you are a senior, if you have not yet made application, this is the application. If you are an underclassman, this is the process for the application. We accept, number one, it's free. First and foremost, it's free. We accept both the common application or the Truman application. Apply.truman.edu or truman.edu and click on application. We can get you there, okay? It is free. It is set, ready to go. Our competitive scholarship deadline, and I'm not going to say it's a hard and steady deadline, but it is a push deadline is December 1st of your senior year. So we want to make sure you get that in right away. There are five pieces of information that we need to fulfill your application for admission file. Obviously, your application. Second of all, your high school transcript. I'm going to skip the test scores and I'm going to come back to that. We do require an essay, and we will accept the essay off the Common App. We do require an activity sheet or an activity resume. Again, we will accept that off the Common App, though many times there's not enough character space on the Common App for the activity resume, and most students will send in an additional document specifically for the activity sheet or activity resume. So feel free to do that. So now I'm going to come back to the test scores. As seniors in particular this year, we are aware that COVID-19 has thrown havoc onto taking your test scores, whether it be last year, as a junior, this summer, even this fall already. So this year, and this year only, for the fall class of 2021, we are what is called test flexible. It is not test optional, it is test flexible. So what does that mean? Simply stated, test flexible means, yes, we can admit you with your high school transcripts, with your essay, and with your activity sheet. We have to have those three pieces in to make sure that we can accept you. The test flexible part is, we will award you a true merit academic scholarship based upon those three pieces of information, because we look at everything holistically anyway. But the flexibility part is, if you decide to take the ACT, whether it be, just the other day that you were able to take it, or in October, December, maybe you're able to take it in February, even as late as April of your senior year, and you decide to take the ACT test, and your new result on the ACT would increase your true merit academic scholarship based upon our standard scale of an ACT GPA requirement, we will adjust your true merit academic scholarship accordingly. We will not adjust it down. We will only adjust it upward. So it gives you plenty of opportunity to do that. Many test optional schools say, if you're going to go test optional, you cannot send in a score at all. We utilize the flexibility part where it allows you to go ahead and take it and increase your true merit scholarship down the road. So those are the five pieces of paper or five pieces of information that we need for your application process. We break that out then, your application file becomes your competitive scholarship file. And that really weighs heavy on the essay and activity sheet. So you want to make sure you get those things put together in a very nice, strong manner. What else is there at Truman State University besides the academics? I've harped on that quite a bit. There are a lot of things to do through our student life. We have over 230 different groups, clubs, and organizations on our campus. Most of our academic programs each have their own academic honors program. We have a full Greek system, including 12 national fraternities and 10 national sororities. We have a wide range of intramurals on campus. We have many different religious organizations, service organizations. We have, an honors program on campus. We have an international club. We have the Center for Academic, or the Center for Diversity and Inclusion. We have over 230 different groups, clubs, and organizations on our campus. We have over, roughly, 350 to 400 international students on our campus that have their different groups and clubs and organizations as well as part of the 230. So when you talk about Truman State University, sometimes you're going to hear, oh, you're in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing to do. We are in the middle of nowhere. We talked about Kirksville earlier, but there's a ton of things to do on campus as well as off campus. In Kirksville, in the community of Kirksville, just within blocks, 4 to 6 blocks of campus, depending upon where you live on campus. The movie theater, the escape room. There's opportunities to do trivia night, karaoke night, game board nights, all within blocks of walking in blocks of campus. We have a super Walmart, which is really cool. Okay, so there's all kinds of things, that you can purchase out there. Kirksville hosts the Red Barn Festival and other festivals that your smaller communities will do. So there's always something going on campus or in the community. Thousand Hill State Park is a state park about 6 miles from campus. You can go hiking out there. You can ride your bike out there. You can camp. You can fish. You can swim on the beach out there. You can rent a kayak out there. So there's a lot of things to do out there as well. We are the NCAA Division II athletics. We are members of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. So athletics are a part of our campus as well. We have a full marching band. So all of those things add to the activities and the student life aspect on campus for our students. So yeah, there's a lot to do on campus. It's not just the academic side of the house. So here on this slide, there's just some general information here. If you are a senior or a junior, one of you two in particular, I definitely recommend that you start looking to visit campus soon if you have not already. If you are a senior in particular, we are taking live in-person visits right now. We are doing private visits, so it'd be one student and no more than 2 guests. Those are live. There are days open. You can find that, visit.truman.edu. Or you can do a virtual visit. And especially if you're juniors or sophomores, even freshmen with this, you can do a virtual visit. It's a great way to do a presentation such as this, where you can ask a lot more questions of myself or Joe or whichever counselor is handling it. And then when you come to campus, hopefully next semester or next summer, you're not going through the gathering information stage. You're focusing in on, this is what I want to know. I want to go talk to this faculty member or whatever the situation is. So you can do that. Plus, we are doing virtual showcase days. Our next virtual showcase day is Saturday, October the 10th. You can register for that online at visit.truman.edu as well. So it kind of gives you many different opportunities to visit campus, whether you're there or not. Find us on YouTube, and I'm going to get to that in just a second, and lots of other ways to do it. If you're a senior and you're looking to apply.truman.edu, or these last 2 links down here. If you know what you want to do academically, or you have specific questions about it, you can go to truman.edu/majors programs, and it will give you a listing of all the different majors and minors that we offer. You can click on that and you can find faculty, you can find an overview of what they do, maybe course descriptions, what's required for graduation, 4-year plans, the whole 9 yards. So it's all right there on our website. Just I have to do a couple clicks and you're ready to go. If you're looking for a specific club, or maybe you're a legacy in a fraternity or sorority, you can find out if we offer that on campus, or what environmental clubs we have on campus, or whatever the situation is. You can do that, truman.edu/student life. There's a lot of other things involved on our campus as well, or on our website. Check it out. It's a really, really good website, and there's a lot of information on there. The last slide here tonight, and then we're going to open the floor up for questions, and we'll get him in here as well, so I can take a break from talking. These are ways to follow us on social media. Obviously, the website, truman.edu, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. We have all kinds of things. We have a lot of different, we video a lot of the different things that go on our campus, so you can find us on YouTube. We just recently rolled out our new logo. You can see that video. You can see tours of the resident halls, both online through the website as well as on YouTube. You can see some of the different Snapchat and Instagram things that we do on our big events on campus. So definitely follow us. You can take a picture of this. Again, it's being recorded so you can find it, but you can definitely do all that. So that, in essence, is the end of our presentation tonight. I like to keep it short, sweet, right to the point. So I guess I will cover a couple other things just very quickly, and that would be cost and scholarshiping. And I don't have the slide because I don't know what year you are or whether you're in state or out of state. So when we talk about our True Merit Academic Scholarship, assuming for a minute that you're applying with a test score, we will utilize the test score and the GPA for a True Merit Automatic Scholarship. That range, if you are an in-state student, anywhere from from $2,000 to $4,000. And if you're an out-of-state student, it ranges anywhere from $35,000 up to $8,000. Okay, and it's a very simple scale. It's a matrix scale. It is on our website. You can find that when you're on the application page, and you can already see where you might qualify for right away. If you are another automatic scholarship that we want to offer to you, if you are a state of Missouri resident and you are doing the A+ program, if you complete the A+ program, we will offer you a $500 a year, total of $2,000 over the 4-year history, A+ recognition scholarship. We are not going to offer you 2 years of free tuition, but we will recognize what you did for A+ and give you $500 more stacked on top of your True Merit Academic Scholarship. And then we're going to look at the competitive scholarships. We offer scholarships, and these really are going to focus, as I said, on your essay and your activity resume. We have them titled Presidential Honorary, Presidential Leadership, Missouri Boys and Girls State, Truman, the Harry S. Truman Leadership, and then the Pershing, General John J. Pershing. The top two, the General John J. Pershing and the Harry S. Truman, they are competitive in the sense of they are our top scholarships, and we may require additional information, whether that be an interview or an additional essay. The other ones, we do all the work. We just look at your resume. We're looking for leadership, service, volunteer work, things like that, and we're going to give you money. You don't have to do anything more for it. So we're going to try and give you 3 scholarships right up. So what are the scholarships and how much, what's it mean? And how does it compare to our costs? Well, I'm going to give you our costs for this current school year, room, board, tuition, and fees. So I'm talking everything for this current freshman school year, $18,000, roughly $500, a little bit less than that technically, but $18,500. And so if you are attending a private school here in the state of Missouri, the surrounding area, your private schools, high schools, are $15,000 to $16,000. And we're just a few $1,000s more than that, and we are giving you room, board, tuition, and fees. For a public school student, don't worry. This is not out of the question. This is not out of the realm. Keep in mind also one of the things up here behind me, over 50% of our students do graduate debt-free. So it is a very, very affordable institution, just not only sticker price, but then after we start reducing your cost using scholarships, federally funded or state funded financial aid as well. So that's something that I want to just make sure that you're aware of, that we can, we work with all families in terms of financial aid scholarshiping at a already reasonable cost to start with. So that's kind of, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn it over. And Joe, is there anything you want to add? And I'll flip over to the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in and answer a couple of these questions that were asked because they were asked to be asked to the group.
Sure.
So one person asked if there are specific freshman organizations or clubs that help with the transition. There are not freshman-specific clubs. However, you do get a first-year advisor while you're at Truman, whose complete and only job is to help guide first-year students through the first-year college process. You actually meet with them before you ever get to Truman. You'll meet with them during orientation, and they'll help you with your schedule. And the nice thing is they are designed to help you create a study schedule and get adjusted to majors that you might be interested in, and even just figure out what it's like to be away from home and be at college. So it's almost like a guidance system for first-year students coming into Truman. And then at the beginning of every semester, there's an activities fair. So that allows first year students to see what is available on campus and to be able to get out and kind of explore options. We did have questions about 2 of the pre-professional programs that I wanted to hit on and kind of the highlights. The pre-pharmacy program is very popular. The nice thing is you can choose what you want to major in, whether that is chemistry, biology, or we did begin a biochemistry and molecular biology major, which is quite popular for the pre-pharmacy program. What's nice about these pre-professional programs is that they are guided while allowing you to have a lot of freedom in the other classes you take. So the pre-pharmacy program and pre-pharmacy club are designed to help guide students towards pharmacy school and make sure you have the classes necessary. Because our bio and chemistry classes are lab heavy, you're going to get a lot of that hands-on experience that will make you kind of a step above when it comes to pharmacy school. And then for the pre-veterinary program, within our biology department, we do have a lot of students that will focus on zoology. Every biology class at Truman does have a lab attached to it, so you're going to get the hands-on experience. And as you're walking through the science building, if you turn a corner and don't know it's there, you will get scared by the herbatorium. So we do have snakes and lizards and turtles on campus that our pre-vet students work with. We also have a campus farm. So you will have the opportunity to work with cows, horses, and other animals there. And one of the really interesting bio things we offer for zoology students is the opportunity to do a study abroad in South Africa, where you can work on conservation of the big game animals, such as lions and elephants. So it's the same as the pre-pharmacy program, where it's a guided program and you can major in what you choose. Most students major in biology, and then we will make sure you're taking the classes that you need for veterinary school and the exams you need to enter veterinary school. So those were the questions I saw so far. Are there other questions that people would like answered for the group? Please feel free to add them in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple questions here, Joe. A question that we get asked all the time in terms of scholarshiping. Students will bring in a lot of dual credit, whether it be AP credits or dual credit from down here in St. Louis area, St. Louis 1818 or your local college or university. And so they come in with 15, 20, 24 credit hours or more. And I may be coming in as a sophomore. How does that affect true merit scholarships? In the eyes of the admission office, you will always be a first-year freshman. So regardless of how many credit hours you bring in, and you can bring in up to 60, you will still be receiving your freshman true merit academic scholarship based upon your ACT if you have it and your GPA. So you will not be bumped over to a transfer scholarship. You will be a freshman the whole way in. So wanted to touch base on that real quick. Some of the other things, yeah, when we talk about pre-pharmacy and we talk about pre-vet, we don't have specific partnerships with any school, but our kids go to some of your bigger local name brands, local meaning the Midwest. So pre-vet's going to go down to Mizzou a lot of times. The pharmacies are going to come back here to Edwardsville, College of Pharmacy, St. Louis College of Pharmacy, University of Missouri. They may go out to the Kansas City area, UMKC. So the pre-pharmacy, pre-vet, pre-med, pre-law students, they go many different places. We don't have specific programs or specific schools. And generally speaking, when you go to graduate school, many times you end up going back towards your home anyway. So that kind of gives you an idea in all the pre-professional programs that we offer where we're looking at. Another question, we do not offer a field hockey program, whether it be intramural or whether it be from a competitive intercollegiate standpoint. What else? What other questions can we answer for you?
I think one thing I definitely want to highlight, I am not a Truman grad, so I went to a small private liberal arts school on the East Coast and paid like $60,000 a year. So one thing I like to tell my students, and I mean this very honestly, is what you are getting at Truman is a small private liberal arts school education, but you are not paying $60,000 a year. You are paying $18,000 a year. And then you're not even paying that because of the scholarships and financial aid you'll be offered. So it's really important to look at the value of what you're getting and the ability you have to really shape your educational program. As Mark said, there aren't general education classes your first 2 years. There are requirement areas, but you get to pick and choose the classes that fulfill those areas. And it also means when you're in a liberal arts environment that your chemistry knowledge from your chemistry class does not just exist in your chemistry class. We want you to be able to take knowledge, transfer it across classes, and build larger, more complex arguments and ideas, be able to kind of go out into the working world or the academic world, because that's really how they function. We have a question about men's soccer. Yes, we have a club team for men's soccer and we have a Division II team. So both are options at Truman.
And when we deal with, deal with athletics, men's soccer, women's soccer, women's volleyball, all have intercollegiate club teams as well. So we do have those opportunities for those students who are interested in that. And, you know, they don't want to do the Division II, but they do want to continue to play. Yeah, we do have softball, basketball, both on the women's side. The best thing to do would be to check the website for all the different sports. We could go through and list them all, but they're all listed. TrumanBulldogs.edu is our athletic site. So you can go there. That's where all the coaches' information is, and all that kind of, you know, how to get out, fill out the questionnaire, how to send that information in, get on the coach's radar right away.
We have a question about a competitive edge for scholarships. So I have two general pieces of advice, one that's very official and then one that's my advice. The very official is get the application in by December 1st. That is our priority deadline for competitive scholarships. So if you have it in by December 1st, you are on the top of the pool for scholarship consideration competitively. That is when we begin the review process. As far as my general advice with the essay and the activities list, with the essay, just make sure you write about yourself. Let us learn as much about you as possible, because that really is what holistic review means. And with the activities list, don't limit yourself. List literally everything you have done while you're in high school: jobs, extracurricular activities, leadership positions. But then I always suggest to my students, write a little paragraph under each activity, letting us know what skills you gained while you were doing that, how long you've done it for, what leadership positions you have. Basically brag about yourself as much as possible so we can learn about as much about you as possible.
Another question that just popped in terms, and I didn't cover it, in terms of residential living. Freshmen are required to live on campus. So you have the opportunity to live, whether it be in a traditional community style bath or in a suite style. But that's it. Your freshman year is your only requirement. Sophomore year, you have the opportunity to move off campus if you choose. There are about probably 50% of our sophomores that decide to stay on campus, about 50 move off. Once you start looking at junior and senior year, that number drastically drops. There's probably 25, maybe 30% of juniors live on campus, and probably even lower than that than seniors. The cost of living in Kirksville is very low. So it is very affordable to move off campus. But from a freshman standpoint, you are required to live on campus unless you're within a 30-mile radius of campus.
So we have to wrap up right quick. We have a minute left. I did get one question I want to tell you. If you are interested in a medical-based pre-professional program, it will be under the med school program, the pre-med program. But from Mark and I, we just want to say thank you. We hope you enjoyed this. Please reach out to us at any time. You can reach out to the general admissions information that you were given, and then we can get our contact information to you. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
On behalf of Missouri ACAC, we would like to thank you for attending the Truman State University session. You will receive, once you close your window, you'll receive a quick 4-question survey. We ask that you complete that to help us better service our students and families and counselors across the state. We do have 3 more weeks of sessions, so please consider looking at the MOACAC website to sign up for additional sessions. And as I mentioned when we started, the program was recorded and will be available on the MOACAC website in the next few days. Thank you again, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.